Assalamualaikum and a very good day to our beloved lecturer, Miss Wahida binti Tumijan, and to all my friends. My name is Kuzaima Mazalan. I would like to present my research proposal with a title, A Comparative Study of Football Skills for Grassroots Between Female and Male Players in Malaysia National Football Development Program (NFDP). This is the content of my research proposal. Number 1, background of the study. Number 2, statement of the problem. Number 3, research objective. Number 4, significance of the study. Number 5, literature review. And number 6, the methodology. Now, we look into the background of the study. Here, we can see the ability of the female to compete with the male players at the grassroots level now exists, where the female players also undergo training session according with the same training module and schedule as the male players under the National Football Development Program. Female players also able to highlight their skills in football compared to male players by exploring their physical and mental abilities during training session. And from this research, we should determine the difference of football skills for grassroots level between female and male players. In this background of the study, I support with a statement from previous writer or researcher, which are number 1, from Koo K Kim 2017. He said that football is not merely just a game, it requires players to have the ability to think positively and intuitively. Football also requires players to make a quick decision and have immediate response. Number 2, from Ministry of Youth and Sports 2013. Football is also the number 1 sports in the world, and in Malaysia, and collaboration between Football Association of Malaysia (FAM), Ministry of Youth and Sports, National Sports Council and Ministry of Education Malaysia have produced a plan which is known as National Football Development Program. Number 3, from Lesson ETL 2015, football has the potential benefit to improve the physical and mental emotional health of the youth. An individual who is engaged in sport may have positive change in the psycho-emotional lifestyle. Number 4, from Matheson and Pettison 2015. They are said, as a competitive sport, football requires athletes to have a good physical fitness, basic education and skills, a flexible mind and a sense of teamwork. During the initial training stage, the prime objective is to acquire general, theoretical and basic technique to form a basic structure of sporting movement. Number 5, from Matheson and Danielson 2014. The basic technical ability allows players to remain active when facing high-intensity confrontation in the game and improve the young footballers' spirit and agility performance. And number 6, the environment of the youth training system. The basic skill of young players are always in the first line of training. Young players have more physical flexibility and possibility of imitating movement. This is by Bolton and Beckery 2017. And the last one is from Hakman ETAL 2018. There are many types of sports, and physical fitness techniques among football is the most playing sports and well-fitted sports. And the next, let's continue the statement of problem of my research proposal. Now, we move to the point number 2, which is statement of the problem. The reason why I'm choosing or propose this topic is because women football team has been in the National Football Development Program (NFDP) of football at the grassroots level in year 2021. The ability of the female to compete with the male players at the grassroots level now exists, where the female players also undergo training session according to the same training module and schedule as the male players under the National Football Development Program (NFDP). This is also to identify the problem of the existent subtle differences in the nature of how each gender, female and male, in football, which are evident in disparity between skill, tactics and fitness. This is also because of the technical weakness of female players, include the first touch, dribbling, long passing and goalkeeping, and these skills limitation have detected specific tactical approach towards both attack and defender in game situation compared to male players. Lastly, coaches of the women's game see weakness in skills, tactic and fitness, the need to be dealt with in training to improve the standard of play as male players. This statement of the problem can be supported by these two citations, which is from Koo K Kim 2017. He said that football is not merely just a game. It requires players to have the ability to think positively and intuitively. Football also requires players to make quick decisions and have an immediate response. By Ministry of Education 2014, the effort done by the Ministry of Education Malaysia through Sport Department of Ministry of Education Malaysia require every state sports school (SSS) to set up one women's football team starting in mid-2014. Point number 3 is research objective. I have two research objectives. Number 1 is to identify specific football skills that measuring the understanding, ability or performance for grassroots between female and male players in Malaysia National Football Development Program (NFDP) during training session in Kuala Lumpur Training Centre. Number 2, to determine the difference of football skills for grassroots level between female and male players in Malaysia National Football Development Program (NFDP) in Kuala Lumpur Training Centre. Point number 4 is the significance of the study. From here, we can look into two parts, which is from physical and physiological demand and also training program. From physical and physiological demand, we can say that women's football are more limited than the available literature on female players' characteristic than men's football. Due to the increased popularity and participation numbers of female players in football, especially in Malaysia, this study provide significant information for better understanding the demand of the females football game. While the training program, the information in this study provide a good point of reference for players, coaches, and sports scientists regarding the overall physical demands of women's and men's football is essential for developing sport-specific conditioning program for training. And the specificity of training principle in sports science state that the most effective training is the one that resembles the demands of a game as close as possible. Now, point number 5 is literature review. In this literature review, we can see the 5 part of this research proposal that we can conduct, which is the number 1, female players' involvement in football. This is how is the involvement of women in football. Number 2, the technical football skill for grassroots. What is the technique there in grassroots football? Number 3, measuring football skills. Here, we need to know how to measure football skills. And number 4, comparative football skills between female and male players. What is the comparison of football or soccer technique between female and male players? Lastly, number 5, the research framework. How the framework for this research is carried out. Here, we can look furthermore about the female players' involvement in football. Here, the number of international competition, professional and recreational league for female players of various age groups has considerably increased. Female footballers has the opportunity to train and compete in the professional environment, which at the same time has raised the performance expectation. For the technical football skill for grassroots, we suggest that the most successful football players show technical, tactical, orthopermetric, physiological and psychological advantage. Coaches need to take into account the technical skills on ball control, passing, dribbling and also shooting. Then, the measure for football skills, some recent attempts to examine specific aspects of soccer performance, including skills related to cognition, perception, and motor performance. There are a number of methods by which various aspects of soccer skill performance can be evaluated. Some are specific to particular technique, and whereas others are more holistic in nature. The comparative football skills between female and male players, we can look, there were no significant difference between players of various positions with various of technical football skills. For example, shooting, short pass, long pass, dribble, and dribble pass. For the research framework, here I suggest a quantitative research that establish statistically significant conclusion about a population by studying a representative sample of the population. Then, the non-experimental research design used in this study is causal comparative, and the data analyst may describe the method that used to organize, categorize, and study the information that collect through this research process. Now, we move to the last part of this research proposal, which is point number 6, methodology. In this methodology, from the research design, I choose a quantitative research that establishes statistically significant conclusion about a population by studying a representative sample of the population. And the non-experimental research design used in this study is causal comparative design to determine a comparative on football skills for grassroots level between female and male players in Malaysia National Football Development Program (NFDP) in Kuala Lumpur Training Centre. From the sampling, the participants of the study were 40 female and male players aged 12 years old from Malaysia National Football Development Program (NFDP) in Kuala Lumpur Training Centre. The centre are Akademi Tunas Wanita Kuala Lumpur and Akademi Tunas Sentul Kuala Lumpur. The female and male players' football skills measured by the evaluation criteria of technical knowledge and application, physical attributes, game intelligence quotient or IQ, which on how the player deal with the game situation, and also players' personality. The 12 years old players are selected because this is an evaluation conducted after 6 months of training cycle in a year 2023 in Malaysia National Football Development Program in Kuala Lumpur Training Centre. The instrumentation of this study, we can look into 4 parts. Number 1 is the technical knowledge and application. Number 2, physical attributes. Number 3, game intelligence quotient or IQ during game situation. And number 4, player's personality. The measure is based on the rating of each players can get for excellent 5 marks, above average 4 marks, average 3 marks, below average 2 marks, and poor 1 marks. From the session of evaluation activities, each players, female and male, managed to get in total 100 marks. From the marks, the comparative on football skills for grassroots between female and male players measure based which of players collect the higher marks. From the technical knowledge and application, we should measure the players based on the first touch, dribbling, short and long passing, 1v1 based on attacking and defending, and also finishing. And physical attributes are reactivity, speed, agility, change of direction, and also the player's balance. From game intelligence quotient, we should measure the perception or awareness, supporting or offering solution, anticipating the dynamic of the game, decision making and creativity, and transition of ball position BP to ball possession or position BPO, and also ball possession opposition BPO to ball possession BP. And the last one is player's personality, which is we could measure based on the joy of play, self-confidence, leadership, emotional control, and also winning mentality. For data collection and procedure, I should manage to get approval from the coaches from each NFDP Kuala Lumpur Training Centre for female and male players is obtained. During first visit to the both female and male training centre, participants are informed about the study and schedule a date for the evaluation activities to be conducted. Given an information sheet consent form to be signed by their parents, and participants from female and male training centre perform a scheduled evaluation session to measure their football skills. The last part is the data analysis. The statistical techniques proposed in this study is independent test. Independent test is used to compare the football skills for grassroots between female and male players in Malaysia Football Development Program NFDP focused in Kuala Lumpur Training Centre. The evaluation of football skills performed by female and male players measured to determine the difference between the two sets of score. As a summary, I can conclude that although past research has discovered the relationship between technical skill and playing position, is a little evidence of any specific skills which is predictive of the positional difference between players. The physical and physiological demands of women's football are more limited than the available literature on female players' characteristics than men's football. From this study, information provides a good information by the point of reference for players, coaches, and sports scientists regarding the overall physical demand of women's and men's football is essential for developing sport-specific conditioning program for female and male football players, since this study show female and male players cover a similar performance in football skills. With all the description earlier, this is mean we have reached the end of this presentation. On this occasion, I would like to thank you to our beloved lecturer, Miss Wahida binti Tumijan, for her guardians and guardians. That is all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum and have a nice day.